everyone, and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2019. Thank you so much for being here. I can see that a lot of you guys are very excited to be seeing expanded, right? Expanded content should be coming up for the time being, for the next probably month or so, maybe even more. Simply because the next two North American regionals are in the expanded format. We have Anaheim regionals, and then we also have Dallas regionals, which are both expanded. Dylan, thanks so much for the extra 15 bits. Very kind of you. I noticed you wanted to be first place by a single bit. So yeah, this should be an interesting experience. We're going to be streaming expanded for the next foreseeable, for the next 2 weeks at least, right? Probably more, but for the next 2 weeks at least. And we're gonna exploring a ton of decks, yeah? Expanded is a very varied format. The last tournament in Expanded was Portland, which wasn't too far away, but we do have the Lost Thunder set now available to us, and that's why I decided to explore. One of the most hyped decks in Standard, we will be looking at it in Expanded. And Rafa, thank you so much for the 500-bit drop. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Appreciate it. Always happy to see you around. And Sir Bandage, hello. Thank you so much for being here. RealGames.ca, likewise. And Henry, will I be showing Greninja Break? I will eventually be showing Greninja Break. Yeah. Not worth trying elixirs for more speed. Okay, so here's my reasoning for not having elixirs in this list. I think that B-String is a much more decisive card in a way, and as long as you don't miss an energy drop, which you shouldn't be doing with this list, like Elixir feels like it would be a win more card. You could definitely find the room for elixirs instead of the battle compressors, perhaps, and instead of one of the energy switches, or the ultra space, perhaps, or maybe the third mysterious treasure. I don't know. Yeah, this is the first draft of the deck. I did play a couple of games last night with it, and it worked out fine. But thank you, Rafa. No worries. But this is what I'll be sticking for with now, and perhaps as the stream goes on we'll be making some changes. So let's take a look quickly. Blacephalon GX and Ultra Beast, 180 HP. Its attack bursting burn. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned and confused. This attack is a nice way to buy yourself some time. It can sometimes create some nice win conditions, but this attack is less effective in Expanded because of the existence of Floatstone, right? Neither burn nor confusion prevent your opponent from retreating, so a single Floatstone immediately denies any benefit you could have had from that. Mind Blown deals 50 damage, and then you may put any amount of fire energy attached to your Pokemon into a Lost Zone, and then this attack does 50 damage for each card put in the Lost Zone in this way. So ideally unlimited damage, we can one-hit KO anything, so a pretty good card to have, especially against GX attackers. And then Burst GX allows us to discard one of our prize cards, and if it's an energy card, we attach it to one of our Pokemon. So basically we immediately go down to 5 prize cards, and we can possibly accelerate an energy as well. IK Justice, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. And hey man, I am doing well, thank you. How about you? No A spec, that is true. I did not include an A spec, and that is something that I keep forgetting when I build for Expanded. In my mind I had the Hit Factory as the one-off, and I guess I went with that. So a good A spec here, I think I'm gonna take out the Mysterious Treasure. Yeah, I'm gonna put in the A spec right now. I'm gonna take out the Mysterious Treasure, and I'm gonna put in a Computer Search. Yeah, that's usually the default A spec to go towards. It gets you literally any card. It's an extra out to B-String, and it's an extra way to discard cards from the hand. We could be playing Scramble Switch, like one energy switch and one Scramble Switch, but it's not like Blacephalon needs a ton of energy to be repowered up, right? So I feel like using the space of like energy switch should almost always be as good as a Scramble Switch, right? I would think so. So yeah, the one issue I can see happening with this deck is potentially Sudowoodo getting trapped in the active spot. Faba could be good as well. One of Faba could be good. IK Justice, I assume you are following the channel, but for you to subscribe, you need to click over like above me. If you're watching on a computer, there should be an option that lets you subscribe to the channel for either $5, $10, or $25 a month, up to you to decide. Or you can use your Twitch Prime subscription as well. And yeah, no field blower could also be a bad idea in this. So Faba is also something to consider. It's just space is so tight with all the energy that you want to run. We do have counter stadiums, but we definitely don't have an out to reactivating abilities that Carbotoxin could stop, right? So that's something to consider. I definitely do like having the Blacksmith though. I don't think I could drop anything other than the Ultra Space for the Faba if I wanted to give that a try. Getting rid of a Sycamore doesn't seem great. Why didn't Naganadel GX? Because I do expect male decks like Whaler and things like that to be active. Yeah, to be active in there it is, Henry. I do expect male decks to be running rampant in expanded, just like in standard, and Naganadel GX with its GX attack, Stinger GX, both players shuffle their prize cards into their decks, and then each player puts the top 3 cards of their decks face down as their prize cards. So essentially you take 3 prizes against a GX deck, yeah, or rather against a mill deck, and you activate B-String as well, which is really good because a mill deck will never activate B-String in the end. Scorched Earth could be good. It's like a better, it's like a slightly worse Heat Factory in a way. It could be changed with Ultra Space. I do like having outs to finding the right Pokemon though. But Scorched Earth is also something I did consider. It's just, in my mind, Ultra Space is probably a bit more worth it. Yeah, probably just a little bit more worth it. So yeah, there's a lot of cards that we could contemplate here. If we could specifically test the matchups on the ladder, then that would be great. Henry, thank you so much for the extra bits. Wow, very, very kind of you. 606 bits, very kind of you. Thank you so much. I do like the idea of a Faba though. That's what's really like in the back of my mind. So I don't know what I would drop for the Faba though. I'll leave the list as it is, and I will maybe as we test and we figure out what's good and what isn't. Yeah, Expanded has way too many good cards for this deck indeed. So let's finish. I already explained Blacephalon, I explained the Naganadel GX. Its first attack piece rate can also be a decent attack. It gives you a psychic type attacker that's not limited to 80 damage or the 3 prize turn like this Naganadel, but the ability charging up of this Naganadel is actually incredibly good. Once during your turn before you attack, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon, so you get energy acceleration, and since Blacephalon can remove energy from anywhere in your side of the field, this is a great way to make sure that Blacephalon is dealing out a lot of damage. And then Turning Point is also a pretty decent attack. 80 damage for 3 is nothing to write home about, but Psychic type is pretty good in Expanded, just like in Standard. And if you are at exactly 3 prize cards, you get to deal 80 more damage. Could probably cut an end, yes. I do like having 2 ends though. I feel like a lot of games in Expanded especially just come down to you ending your opponent down, and then if the end is prized, that could cause a big issue. So we could cut an end, but I'm not a big fan of cutting a consistency card for something like Faba, which will be situational. We have the Sudowoodo to limit Zoroark's attack, although Zoroark, aggressive Zoroark isn't as common as I thought it would be, at least not in Portland, but it might make a comeback. So Roadblock I feel like is always a necessary card. And then we also have more Shadow to use Let Loose ability and perhaps draw an extra card, a few extra cards, and find the cards we need there. And we finally have one of Tapu Lele to search for a supporter. Now, different to standard, we have 4 Sycamore, 2 N, 2 Guzma, and then the 1 Blacksmith. Blacksmith is energy acceleration as well. We attach 2 basic fire energy cards from our discard pile to one of our fire Pokemon. So we can immediately repower up a Blacephalon that doesn't have any energy attached, which is really, really good. And then items wise, the big addition are of course the A-Spec Computer Search, which chat very kindly reminded me. And we have double battle compressors as well, which helps us not only thin the deck, but get energy to a discard pile, which we can then recover with Naganadel. Outside of that, we have Versus Seekers to reutilize the supporters that we do play, for Ultra Ball and for Beast String, the 2 Mysterious Treasure, the 2 Energy Switch to move energy around, which I feel like maybe the Energy Switch could be replaced as well, because we do have the Blacksmith. Or we could turn the 2 Energy Switch and the Computer Search into the Scramble Switch, as mentioned before, and then that would open up a little bit of space. Then the Heat Factory to draw by discarding a fire and drawing 3 cards is essentially as if we were playing Scorched Earth, just a little bit better. And then 1 Ultra Space to find our Ultra Beasts. 15 basic fires, 1 Beast Energy, and let's jump into the ladder, let's try out the deck, and then we'll see what else we can do, yeah? The other deck that I will be playing today will be a Alolan Executor, and I can just, there you go, thank you so much for subscribing, very, very kind of you. So let me tell you more about the cards I did consider. Volcanion EX is also something I considered, yeah? Volcanion EX is also something that I did consider, but the liability of starting with it, I feel, is such a big deal that you probably wouldn't want to play it. Yeah, that's my issue with the Volcanion EX. When you start with it, like, if you play Volcanion EX, you'll probably want to use, what the heck? You'll probably want to use, you'll probably end up wanting to use Rafa. Thank you so much for the extra bits, very kind of you. You'll probably want to use, can't speak today. I lost my train of logic. Okay, I'll just go through the chat, yeah? Cueva del Panda, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias, saludos hasta Tijuana. Why only 1 Blacksmith? Is Verse Seeker enough? Yes. Okay, I was talking about Volcanion EX. Volcanion EX is a potentially very good card, but then we would need to run Float Stones. How many Volcanion EX are we going to run? Starting with a Volcanion is a very big liability. Thank you so much for the extra 300 bits, Rafa. That's very, very kind of you. I can't get a knockout on this Miltank right now. I can't get a knockout onto this Miltank thanks to the fact that I drew my raw Blacksmith. I will need to get rid of all the energy. Wow, Henry, thank you so much for the extra bits. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think getting rid of the energy is fine, because we're thinning the deck quite a bit. So the question is, do I just go all out? The Miltank is not really a big threat, is it? This is a Miltank Whitney based deck, that's pretty funny. I think I'm okay with just either confusing the Miltank or using Burst GX. My opponent only has 2 cards in hand as well. So I think having a more stable setup is more worth it here. So I'm just going to go ahead and Burst GX, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Burst GX. That seems solid. And so we'll discard that, the Energy Switch. I'm not playing Jump Card today, but I will be playing that eventually. Henry, thank you so much for the extra 200 bits. For the extra 400 and something bits. Wow, thank you guys so much. You're just making the thing splash so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's Volk EX covered. I do see how it's good, but bench space is at a premium. It's a big liability if you start with it. It's a big problem if you start with it. I don't know. There's a lot of things going against it. Yeah. Okay, this is the one thing I don't like about running for Sycamore, and it's the fact that I would have to discard all my B-strings on this turn. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and let loose, even though I know I will give my opponent potentially a better hand. I really just didn't want to help him out. I mean, I didn't want to discard my 2 B-strings, right? Because I am being very aggressive. I should have a big advantage right now, but I'm also not like in a situation where against an unexpected deck, I want to be very careful and not overextend my resources. Yeah, because then not discarding those 2 P strings now are 2 P strings that I will not have later on. And look at this beautiful hand. Yeah, this is such a beautiful hand. IK Justice, thank you so much for the extra bits. Thank you so much, guys. Definitely a bit war going on. Very, very kind of you guys. I will go ahead and charging up, and then I'll keep these 2 cards in my hand. If my opponent is playing a Seismitoad, then so be it. I'm just gonna go ahead and Mind Blown the 3 energy and get myself my first knockouts. Thank you so much, IK Justice. Very kind of you. So let me go back to what else I missed. Did I consider Max Elixir? Yes, I did. Aaron, does this just lose to Zorotoad? I mean, I would hope it doesn't. Like, Seismitoad is annoying for sure. If you wanted to adapt to Seismitoad more, you could play like the extra Faba, you could play 2 raw Blacksmiths to recover energy. But I feel like as long as you get a solid turn 1, you will be one-shotting the Seismitoad, right? And Seismitoad will never be one-shotting you. So as long as you're able to stabilize, the matchup should be in your favor, I think. Yeah. Peace out. What do I think of Golisopod Carver for Anaheim? A solid choice, but I feel like I prefer Alolan Executor Carburetor, like just for the potential of the non-GXs. Dylan, I'm not playing Drumpagard today, but I will be playing it. If not this week, definitely next week. You think this is actually huge and expanded, but you're not sure it beats Vespiquen. I really want to die. Yeah, non-GX decks will always be a problem for Blacephalon for sure. We are up against a Miltank deck indeed. I'm glad I've helped you, IK Justice, transition from Yu-Gi-Oh to Pokemon. Pokemon is a very welcoming community, I would say. And so, okay. Zorg attacked us, that's fine. It sucks that the Beast Energy won't help us in dealing the extra damage, right? To 1-hit KO that Zorg. And because that's the case, I'm gonna have to Blacksmith here to compensate for the silly PTCGO bug. Yeah, but I'm thankful that I even have a choice here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab another Blacephalon, I guess. And then I'm gonna go ahead and computer search for the Blacksmith, and that will allow me to compensate for the silly bug that, like, in theory, I should be able to discard these for energy, deal 230 damage, and get a knockout. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not possible in PTCGO because there's a bug, but I'm just gonna go ahead and Blacksmith anyways to get the knockout. So I will Mind Blown, I will get rid of this one, this one, this one, and this one. That way I have 2 Blacephalons powered up. I deal 230 damage, and I am now 2 prizes away from winning the game, and I haven't even had my B-string turn yet. Do you think Vespiquen can be good again with Substrika? Like, you like Mahon's list a lot. I haven't watched Mahon's video, but it definitely could be. Yeah, it definitely could be a good combination. Substrika is really good draw power, right? Much better than Auxiliary probably for that particular deck. Doogie, I am not playing Volcanion EX. You like it to fix the math a little and it gets energy to discard. That is true, but wow, Rafa, thank you so much for the extra 500 bits. Thank you so much. I did consider Volk EX. I already explained a little bit about why I chose not to put it in, because I'm not playing any Floatstone. Starting with a Volk can be very annoying. Bench space is at a premium. And another thing that I guess I forgot to mention is a bench space dedicated to Volcanion EX means you need an energy in hand and the bench space, and you're dealing extra 30 damage for that one bench space, right? Whereas if you have an Naganadel instead, you don't need the energy in your hand, right? Hopefully it's already been discarded at some point, and you get a 50 damage bonus, right? If the energy is on the Naganadel. So in my mind, Volcanion doesn't outweigh the benefits of having a Naganadel. The only way it would is if you have 4 Naganadels and a Volcanion, but that's very unrealistic, and you would probably want another Blacephalon as well. Yeah. Hello, Paul. I am doing well, thank you. How about yourself? Okay, I thought about teammates as well. In the end, I didn't add the teammates, but Lele for teammates for double B-string here would immediately be game, right? Lele for teammates here would immediately be game. Okay, so I have no energy in my discard pile, so I'm gonna go ahead and... I mean, I need B-string, right? Well, no, actually I don't need B-string. I need any energy. I'll just do this. I'll grab the Lele. Lele will grab me Sycamore, and then I have 23 cards left in my deck. I will grab the Naganadel GX. I'm just trying to thin as much as I can, right? Oops. I wanted to, with the Mysterious Treasure, I wanted to click on the Naganadel. Okay, so I'll grab the Poipo. Then I have 5 energy left, either by discarding them or by playing the Sycamore. I should be able to get myself a win here, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. So let me finish this turn out. I think I'm just gonna attach to the active. I have so many ways. Like I have 2 battle compressors, right? No, 1 battle compressor and 4 B-string, and then just the energies. Tama Drummer, thank you so much for the extra bits. Very, very kind of you. Okay, so we found 2 B-strings. We can get 2 energy attached immediately, and then I can B-string again. This is a crazy, crazy turn, and then I can charging up. I'll get an energy back. I could get another energy, but this is just fancy play. More than enough damage to get the knockout on this Zorg. So pretty straightforward. List ran pretty well, so we'll keep at it with no changes for now. But as I was mentioning, like if Seismito Zorg, which is a deck that won, right, becomes a bigger threat, I guess, you could up the blacksmith count, and you could play Fab as well to get rid of their DCEs, maybe have them with the lock a turn. Blacksmith, like even if they're locking you out of energy, then you can just blacksmith onto a Blacephalon to get a knockout. Or Naganadel is also pretty good against Seismitoad because, well, against that deck in particular, because if they're removing your energy, then you just load back up again and keep getting knockouts. And Henry, thank you so much for the extra 500 bits. You guys, thank you so much for all the support. This has been amazing today. Thank you so much. I would like to go first, and yeah, because of all the support, I definitely won't be running any ads today. Yeah. Tama Drummer, I believe I did say so, but thank you so much for the extra bits. I'm gonna choose to start the Marshadow just because the Sudowoodo feels more of a liability than something that helps you out. Okay, so let me... Okay, so we're gonna lose 2 Naganadels here, or unless I do something about it. We're not playing Rescue Stretcher. That's also something I'm not a big fan of. I guess I'm just not a big fan of the 4 Sycamore. Like, Sycamore is so good, but then you have this sort of hand where it's like, ugh, can be tough to deal with. Okay, I definitely don't need the Sudowoodo. Definitely don't need the Fire. I think I'm gonna Lele. Well, no, I can just end here. I don't need to Lele. I can just grab the end myself. This is another reason why I wouldn't want to go down to 2 ends. I mean to 1 end only. I might just end up cutting all 4, like 2 Sycamore, 2 Lily perhaps, or 2 Sycamore, 1 Lily, 1 Cynthia could be decent, yeah? We did get a great hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the Stadium. Hopefully that fixes it a little bit. The Ultra Ball can't get us Lele, so I'm just gonna call it a day like this. Marshall does resist fighting, so it should be safe from a Psycard potential KO unless they have DC, Muscle Band, and Diancie in the same hand. And Rafa, thank you so much for the extra 100 bits. I definitely won't forget my supporters again, guys. The tweet I put up yesterday, or the Facebook post I put up yesterday, was a joke. Obviously, I'm not going to forget ever again, okay? And I'm sure a lot of people will make sure that I don't forget ever again. Okay, so Dallas is expanded indeed. Am I gonna play Mega Guardy Giratina Breeder Boy? I will eventually. I know it's a deck that people are interested in seeing, so I will definitely give it a genuine try. You want to play Zorogarb, Paul? Zorogarb is definitely a good idea. Okay, so my opponent did have the choice band, but he did not have the muscle band, so Marshadow actually ends up surviving. That Zygarde is pretty scary with its Verdict GX attack. So what am I gonna do here first? I mean, I can't Kuzma and Blacksmith at the same time, so I'm gonna start off with the Heat Factory. Yeah, we get a Poipole. That's nice. I definitely want another Poipole. I actually think confusing the Zygarde is the right way to go about this turn. I actually think confusing the Zygarde is the right way to go about it here. So I will end up losing an Naganadel. That's fine because I still have the other two in here. I will grab another Blacephalon. And I will go ahead and Sycamore. Yeah, and then Confusion should put a big dent onto whatever my opponent is planning. The third Poipole feels a bit redundant. Well, it is a fighting deck, so he's probably running Puzzle, right? You'd assume he's running Puzzle, so I'm gonna go ahead and Bursting Burn. Confuse the Zygarde. It does mean with a Beast Energy I get a slightly easier knockout. Even if he flips heads here, and then now he can Verdict GX me for the knockout, but it's a flip, right? Although maybe this was unnecessarily risky. Not sure. Okay, so my opponent does have a switch immediately to heal himself from the Confusion. Doesn't have the energy yet. Yeah, doubt he was going to whiff. And then we are going to get knocked out, unfortunately. He gets protection from damage, right? Not from wait, he didn't use the GX attack? What? Why wouldn't you use the GX attack? That's the whole point of that deck, isn't it? What? That honestly makes no sense, but I will take it. I feel like that's a big misplay. B-String is a thing. Yeah, B-String is a thing. Thank you so much for the extra bits, IK Justice. Very, very kind of you. I do know, like, I have a lot of friends who play in Seattle. So if you want to message me on Facebook, I'll be happy to tell you where they're playing. That was honestly a really bad move by my opponent, right? I have 7 energy in the discard pile already, so I'm gonna go ahead and not discard anymore. I don't think my Blacephalon is getting knocked out next turn, so I'm gonna grab double Naganadel here. And then the Beast energy is nice because then I only need to discard 3 energy, right? And I get to keep the Beast for whatever reason. And there's a victory. Yeah, my opponent definitely made a big misplay there. Either he forgot about Beast Ring or something, but that was a really bad play by my opponent. I can't believe he immediately had the switch though. That was pretty lucky. Okay, so I feel like I should give myself the option to not discard cards. So that's the first change I'm going to make to the deck. Yeah, and thanks so much for the follows, Kuwid. Very kind of you. I'm going to take out 1 Sycamore and I'm gonna put in Cynthia. Yeah, Lily could also be an option. I'm gonna play it as it is because there are instances where you don't want to discard the resources you have in your hand. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much, IK Justice, for hanging out, and thanks so much for the support and the bits. Very, very appreciated. Thank you so much. How did I forget my support, Just Dylan? A combination of things. Yeah, a combination of a lot of factors. Definitely not on purpose. And Jonev, the deck obviously works well, but like on paper, you guys losing energy to Lost Zone seems like a huge loss. I mean, the deck is designed for that, right? That's why you have Paul, thanks so much for the host. That's why you have so many energy, right? You have so many energy that you can't just win a game by with the energy that you have. Yeah, so and then we have the tournament results to back it up. Okay, so we're up against a Garbo Toxin deck. Naganadel is gonna be incredibly good, right, against this. So I have two options. I can go for Naganadel GX, I mean. Well, Naganadel as well. I can go for the Poipole here and then hope that off of the Marshadow I get something good, which I think is what I'm going to go ahead and do. I fully expect my opponent to confuse my Blacephalon, so that's going to be super annoying. Usually we are the ones confusing people, not getting confused, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and bench the Poipole, and then I will computer search for, now I wish I had put in the, the Lily. I'm going to Sycamore for 7 rather than Lily for 8, right? But Sycamore always gets you 7. Lily only gets you 8 on turn 1, and then sometimes it gets you less. I have played 3 item cards. I feel like focusing on Poipoles might end up being more important, right? So there's no way I can attack next turn. There's no way. Well, with the energies, I guess. No, Blacksmith can't power up. Okay, so with a Blacksmith, I could actually still take a knockout on the Eevee. And there's an energy switch. Okay. So I think I'm going to keep the Bow Compressor for now as a Bow Compressor. Because there is a universe in which I could potentially Blacksmith for a knockout on an Espion GX next turn. Very unlikely though. I would need another... I need another Blacephalon and another Naganadel. But the energy switch could end up being useful to get a KO next turn. So I'll leave it here. Yeah. The energy switch actually gets me a knockout because I can Bow Compressor a Guzma, Ultra Ball for Naganadel, and then use its ability, attach an energy, Guzman, then energy switch, and get a KO on a Trubbish. Yeah. Look at all those juicy items. Yeah, like drop a Espion Garb, drop a Garb. They're both gonna be problematic matchups for sure. Wow, that's actually a Mars that hits my B-String. Wow, why are you playing that in that deck as your first turn supporter? That is incredibly lucky, not only to keep the B-String, oh my gosh. That is actually ridiculous. That is actually ridiculous. Okay. Okay, so I feel like trying my luck here is the best way to go about this. So I'm gonna discard the Blacksmith. I have enough energy. I mean, if it's the only card you have, then fair, but that's actually ridiculous that he had it already. Oh, never. Well, can I get a... I could? No, I can't. I'm short. Naganadel GX can't get a knockout on Espion. Right? It deals 160 damage because of the silly parallel city. So I would need to find my beast space. So I think I'm just gonna risk the flip here. I'm gonna get rid of these two cards. And then I'm gonna go ahead and versus Seeker for the Blacksmith. This might cost me my Blacephalon, but I feel like it's my best play here. It's a 50-50 play for sure, but it's my only play too. So I'm not gonna watch. Oh, I hit heads. Awesome. Okay, so we get 4 prize cards here. Not having the B-String sucks because he will eventually knock me out, right? So that's how under ability lock I would get energy into play. Yeah, but we got heads, so it ends up working out nicely in our favor. Maybe I should have set up one Naganadel though. At the cost of a lot of item cards, yeah. but so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 item cards, plus the choice band is exactly knockout on my Blacephalon. So if that happens, the energy switch will be pretty clutch in order for me to get a return KO, or the Naganadel GX, right? Especially the Naganadel GX, if he sets up ability lock. Therefore, keeping that Ultra Ball as an Ultra Ball seems like a great idea now. Okay. So my opponent finds the energy. Will he or will he not find? I actually would prefer him to find the choice band. Like the KO there would have been very, very nice for us, I think. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and evolve. No ability lock, which is great. I'm not gonna risk the flip this time around. Oh, I can retreat. Ooh. No, I would, for that to be worth it though, I would need 2 energy switches. Okay, I think I'm past the point where I'm gonna care about item cards, so I'm gonna go ahead and discard the Sudowoodo. It's not gonna be too useful. I don't want to discard more energy though. So what else do I discard? Probably 1 Blacephalon. Yeah, 1 Blacephalon just to thin a little bit, and then I think that's it. So then I am not going to risk the flip, right? I feel like that's an unnecessary risk. I'm just gonna go ahead and charging up here. And if he Guzmas, he Guzmas. Well, is he gonna Mars me again? Yeah, I think focusing on the non-GX Naganadel is good here. And keeping the GX Naganadel as a surprise for later on is probably a good idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and charging up with this guy as well. Sure, we lose the Blacephalon, then we get B-String, we have the Naganadels, we have N as well, and we take a prize, so we should be okay here, I think. I do play the Naganadel GX indeed. Do you think we could see more Archies on upcoming expanded regionals? Definitely could see that. Yeah, definitely Archies I think is gonna be a popular archetype in Anaheim. You think Zorogarb is a solid play for expanded? I do, Paul, I do. Ooh, so Flareon makes these guys fire type, right? Not relevant against us. That probably should have been saved for a second Espion GX, but what can I say? So another Trash Avalanche, so no ability lock yet, which is great news. We're gonna see a Trainer's Mail. We're going to the Trainer's Mail. And we get knocked out rather. Okay, so B-String. Yeah, I'll B-String the active. Okay, so there's the B-String. B-String gets me knockout on the active, which is nice, right? That's what we're aiming for. And if this becomes a trade of the non-GXs, then we have the advantage because we're taking the first prize card. And we have the potential target of Shaman next turn, which is also pretty good. My follow-up hand is not the greatest, right? My follow-up hand is not the greatest here. I would prefer to attach. Hola, mi amor. I would prefer to attach to a Blacephalon, find an Ultra Space, but at least now we have the potential Naganadel GX ready, and we have the Guzma to KO that Shaman. That's gonna be our goal for next turn. And now End is going to be a very bad supporter to have as well. Okay, so we see a Rescue Stretcher for Espion, Trubbish, and Garbodor. So if that's your plan, like, why would you evolve the Eevee into Flareon, right? Why would you do that? Definitely promoting this guy because our plan is to knock out the Shaman to be even more ahead in the price trade-off against my opponent. That way, we are one Blacephalon Burst GX away from winning the game, right? Even if we don't have a very solid setup right now. Should I save the energy? No, I don't think so. The deck has slowed down a little bit though. So if we get into one, we could definitely end up losing. Though we would have 2 turns to recover. Mysterious Treasure and Ultra Ball are 2 great cards to get here. 2 really good cards. The unknown damage decks, will they see play? I'm sure they will see play. I don't know how successful they will be, but I'm sure they will see play. And I'm sure I will feature one of them eventually. Acolyte, are we gonna see that nifty delinquent Glacian deck you have played? I will probably stream that as well. Okay, so the Mars, not a big deal. We lose the end, that's fine. Definitely not the card that we needed, right? Hello, Pixel Hungry, thank you so much for being here. He should have grabbed N indeed. Like, why would you? That was, well, he didn't have N. If he were secret for that, he didn't have N. And so here, all we have to do is Ultra Ball for our Blacephalon. We could have either done that or Ultra Balled away the Guzma instead of the Mysterious Treasure and grabbed an Ultra Beast and then grabbed the Naganadel GX and gotten a knockout that way. So GG to my opponent. So the deck ends up working out very, very nicely. We're on a 3-win streak. That's all we're gonna play for today for Blacephalon. This is a solid starting point, I feel. I'm now switching to expanded. I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all expanded Blacephalon list. Faba, extra blacksmiths, field blowers, all sorts of stuff could be added to the list. Yeah, so as someone else mentioned earlier, this deck, there are so many good cards for this deck in expanded that it's hard to fit them all in, right? Elixirs can also be tried out, and the idea behind this is to showcase a solid base of the list and then for you guys to go out there and try them out yourselves and make changes accordingly, right? So I will be right back in just a second with our next deck, which will be a Alolan Executor. Tamador, please message me that on Facebook so that we can get in touch. And I will be right back in just a second with the next deck. Be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.